Okay, so I want to show you how to do a problem like this given this calculator, because this one's a little bit different than the one I showed in my lecture video. So this one does not have the ability to do this all in one step, unfortunately. In fact, it can't even do the whole top in one step. So I want to show you what you're going to do. You're going to use the store button so that you can do this one piece at a time. And when you hit that store button, you can store it in like the 1 position or the 2 position. Okay, so in this number 1 or this number 2. And then you can recall those numbers out of number 1 and number 2. Okay, so you can see right now mine says M1 here. That means that I have something in my memory 1. So all I have to do is hit store memory 1 again, and it clears that off. Okay, so we're going to have to clear the memory so that we can restore stuff in those places for each problem. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I go about doing this, because eventually I want to end up with this whole thing stored and this whole thing stored, right? Or something of that sort. So I'm going to do this one piece at a time. I'm going to first calculate this piece. So using this calculator, I hit 7 and then I take the ln of it, right? So I'm going to hit 7 and then ln, okay? And then I have a 2 in front, so I need to multiply that by 2, so times 2. And this is what I get, 3.89 blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'm going to store this in memory number 1. So what I'm going to do is hit store, and then I'm just going to hit the number 1. And when I do that, you can see this little M1 pop up on my screen. Let me see if this is better if I move over here. There we go. That might be a little bit better so that we're not seeing, hold on. There we go. So we're not getting that glare. All right, so right now I have this amount, this little piece stored in memory 1. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to calculate this piece so that I can subtract what I have stored in memory 1. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and clear what's on my screen, and I'm going to now calculate this part. Okay, so I'm going to put in 3 and hit ln so that it calculates ln of 3. And then it has a coefficient of 4, so I'm going to multiply that by 4. Okay, so this 4.3944, what's on my screen right now, that's what this piece equals. Okay, so now that I have this piece, now I need to subtract what's in memory number 1. So I'm going to hit my subtract button, and then I'm going to hit this recall button to recall what I stored in the 1 position. And it's going to show me what was stored in there, okay? So then I need to go ahead and hit equals to actually go ahead and finish out that subtraction, okay? So what is showing on my screen now is the whole bottom piece, okay? So I have 5 ln of 5 plus 2 ln of 3 all over this number, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and write it here. You don't have to write it, but I have 0.50262 and some more stuff. Okay, and right now I want to take that number, and notice I already have memory 1 on my screen, right? Because that's where I stored this little piece of it. So I have to pick a different place to store this one. So I'm going to store it in number 2. So you can see now I have an M2 to show for memory 2. That's where this is stored. M2. Okay. So now that I have this whole bottom part simplified, I no longer need to keep this little piece of it. So to clear memory 1, I'm just going to hit store again and hit the 1 button. Whoops, let me get rid of that. Store. So you can see that that took off the little M1 that used to be up here in the corner. Okay, I don't want to clear my memory 2 because I'm not done using this, right? Okay, so now I want to move on and do the top. Again, I'm going to do the second one first. Well, actually, in this case, it doesn't matter because I'm adding, but in this one, I did the second one first because I was subtracting. But just for the sake of being consistent, I'll go ahead and do that second term first. So I'm going to put in 3 and take the ln of it. And then I have a coefficient of 2, so I'm going to multiply by 2, which gives me 2.19, whatever. Okay, now this I'm going to go ahead and store in memory 1. Okay, because remember I only have 2 memories that I can use. And right now I'm using the second memory to store this bottom piece. So what I just got done doing was this term from the numerator, and I'm going to hit store and then hit the 1. And you can see again that little M1 popped up on the screen. Okay, so now that I have this piece stored, I want to calculate this first term so that I can add what I just stored to it. Okay, so I'm going to clear my screen and I'm going to type in 5 and take the ln of it. And then notice I have a coefficient of 5, so I'm going to multiply that by 5. And this 8.047, that's what this first term equals. So now I need to add that value from my memory 1. So I'm going to add and then hit recall 1. Okay, so that's what I recalled from this term, right? And then I need to hit equals to go ahead and do that addition. Okay, so what that gives me, this is now the answer to this whole top piece. So now I have this 10.2444 blah, 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 blah over the number that I saved in my memory 2. So now that the top is complete, the only thing I have left to do is divide by this value that I have saved in the second memory. Okay, so now I'm just going to hit divided by, and I'm going to recall that value from memory 2. So recall, hit number 2. You can see that number that we had saved there pop up. And then don't forget to hit equals to finish out that division. Okay, so I end up with 20.381 blah, blah, blah. And then you'll just round this to whatever number or decimal place your problem is asking you to do. Okay. All right, so that's a quick rundown of how to do this. Don't forget, once you're done using these, to go ahead and hit store and that 1 or store 2 to have those little memories cleared. Okay. All right, so I hope that helps you complete the rest of your assignment if you are working with this specific calculator.